There's a 12-year-old boy called Michael. And Michael had rung my show. And Michael didn't sound like a 12-year-old boy. He sounded like a 10-year-old boy. He sounded very young. And he'd rung a few times and he was, I don't know, I didn't know whether he was crying wolf or what was going on. But anyway, he said he'd had enough and he was going to commit suicide. A long conversation. And I kept him on the phone. And I made the decision, because I've been doing it for a long time. It was live on air. I made the decision because I couldn't put the phone down. If I put the phone down on a 12-year-old boy and he had committed suicide, my career would be finished. My career would be finished.
You'd have to
but
live
also,
with that
and I couldn't live with it anyway, because I sensed, because I am a people person, because I've worked as a comic on stage, I know people because I've done what I've done. And I've been in the business 50 years. So I said to him, if I come and see you, would you not kill yourself? And he said, you wouldn't come and see me. I said, I'll walk out of the show. And what I did, and what he didn't know, was that I set the police up because it was near Everton. He was going to hang himself from a tree. And it was near Everton. And I got the taxi drivers, because Liverpool's not a city, it's a village. Everyone knows everyone. And people knew my trauma and what was going on. So taxis were in place. And because I don't know if I was being set up. You know, I'm an older man. I don't know if a kid's setting me up. Anyway, I went and I saved him and I stopped him killing himself. And then I took him to the hospital. And the next day, the story went round the world. Last night, a DJ saved my life, which of course I didn't do it for that, but it went worldwide, that story. Liverpool being Liverpool, I love it. Sense of humour in Liverpool, I love. Can you imagine Michael? I've just saved his life. He's there. The police ring me while I'm driving, and I pick the phone up to see, and they're just seeing if I'm all right. And then Michael said to me, excuse me, it's illegal to use your phone when you're driving. I went, I've just saved your life, you little so-and-so.
And that's all he was concerned about.
Liverpool. No, it was his sense of humour. So those were the two stories, two of many. Many. We had another guy who was actually on the phone on a three-way conversation, and he died on air. And when you listen back to the tape, you hear him die. And the police wouldn't go and check it out. And I went again.
Did you?
We kicked a taxi driver knew where he lived, knew who he was, kicked the door down, and he was dead with the phone in his hand in his house. It was unreal. So there's so many stories about that. Let me ask you a question, because you just asked me a very powerful one.
How do you cope with that? Because that's a lot of pressure put on you, not just about the individual and that circumstances.
I haven't coped because
the aftermath of that, when you go home and you're sitting there on your own and you're trying to process that.
I haven't coped. I mean, I have never had counselling in my life. I mean, I'm a patron of Clare House. Yes. The girls that work in Clare House and the boys get counselling. When you're in Samaritans, you get counselled after 5 hours. Yes. I've never had counselling in my life. I have been a priest in a confessional box 5 nights a week for over 40 years, and it's been horrendous.